I'm here at my very advanced old age. I now have to make the choice of how best to serve music and serve people through it. Should I spend whatever days the good Lord gives to me, going back to my first love, the piano, and playing all the Beethoven sonatas again? Should I just go on being a conductor and playing all the Brahms symphonies again, year after year? Should I devote myself only to being a composer and writing the various kinds of music that I do write? And I've been considering this problem because when you get to be 71, you consider such problems. And my decision has been, without too much thought, to spend most of the remaining energy and time the Lord grants me in education and sharing as much as possible with younger people, and especially with very young people, whatever I can share, whatever I know not only about music, but about art, and not only about art, but about the relation between art and life, and of being oneself, finding oneself, knowing who you are, and doing the best possible job. If I can communicate some of this to as many people as possible in the years that remain, I will be a very happy man. And the Pacific Music Festival is one very large aspect of this commitment, which I hereby make for the rest of my life.
As at Tanglewood in the United States and Zalzau in Germany, Leonard Bernstein had the idea to create another summer academy for young orchestra musicians and conductors in Asia, to unite the young musicians of the world further in their dedication to music. Originally, this academy was to be established in Beijing, but the sad events of the Tiananmen Square made this impossible. The American and British musicians committed to this academy found with their Japanese sponsors a perfect location in Sapporo to hold the first Pacific Music Festival. Located on Hokkaido, the northernmost island of Japan, Art Park is a large outdoor sculpture garden with rehearsal and performance spaces seeming to have been designed with this new festival and academy in mind. Following careful auditioning, an orchestra of young musicians assembled in Art Park from nearly all the areas on the shores of the Pacific Ocean from 19 different countries. Leonard Bernstein was ill during this festival, but was nonetheless determined to have the joy of sharing once more and not to disappoint this new group of gifted young people. For his work in 1990, Leonard Bernstein chose Robert Schumann's Second Symphony, a piece very close to his heart.
Very fine, very fine. Yeah, needs work. That needs work. Konbanwa. Evening. How are you? Nice to see you all. You know, you will be surprised, but this scherzo you've been
you're playing too fast. Strangely enough, it is much more brilliant if it's a little slower. And then we can really hear all these 16th notes that you're working so hard at. Instead of, one can't really tell what you're playing. And then you can make phrases. You know what I mean? Like, si do re mi, that's one thing. That then it's a piece of music. Otherwise, it's just like showing off an etude to show how fast you can play in the conservatory. The other thing about it is that it should be extremely brilliant, of course, the string part. The accompaniment is much too heavy. So when just standing there, I mean, most of the notes they're playing, they're killing themselves to play all these 16th notes, cannot be heard. Now, I have written in subito diminuendi after every attack in the winds, right? Dum, 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 dum. And they should be really immediate. Boom, and light. Boom, 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 boom. You see what I mean? Let me just hear the beginning of the scherzo without the strings. Just the accompaniment, people. Horns, careful to make immediately piano. And as light as possible, and staccatissimo. And don't rush. Hit it. No. Each time. Each time, get away from it immediately. One more time. That's it. Good. Very good. Very good. Now let me hear with the strings. Much better. More. More. Yes. Okay. Let's get those notes right. D flat, B flat. Re, si, so, mi. Oh, that's so much better. All that applies to you, of course, naturally. All these boom, everything that's the accompaniment. Low strings, just the same way as the horns. So one more time. That's wonderful. Now, aren't you going to play with us? At this double bar, please, after the repeat. Craig, do you have my glasses? Or any glass? Oh, they're underneath. I never can find them. Thank you. Oh, that's so much better. You see, we've just played a first movement that's very brilliant and heavy and full of double notes and loud. And now the scherzo should be scherzando. It should be light and brilliant and very big contrast in dynamics. Let's do the second ending with everybody. Not bad. Not bad. Don't make too much. It's poco ritardando. Don't make more than I do. We start, of course, the bar before it's printed, but poco. See if you can separate more, so they sound like upbeats. You have the second ending. See if you can somehow imagine a little breath before you. See if you can do it. Second ending. Much better. Subito a tempo. Immediately a tempo. Very, very strong. Same thing. Let me hear the winds play. Only the winds. One, and. You know that place. All right, second ending. Yeah, that's lovely. Now, if you could make it more phrase, even at this tempo. Good. You see? That's wonderful. Now, second ending, everybody. See, that's a place where you have to breathe. Even in the middle of all this hurry and scurry, you have to breathe. Yeah. See, it starts again. Same thing. And lovely. Perfect. Accent. Everybody make that forte piano. Forte surdo diminuendo, whatever you want to call it. Everybody. Even in the tutti passages with trumpets and everything. Oh my, that's an improvement. That's sounding like music. One more time, second ending, yes?
I thought it was great. I mean, Leonard Bernstein is just, he's such a big figure in the music thing, so everybody expects a lot from him, I think, but I think the rehearsal was great. He had a lot to say, and so he really knew. He was really on top of things, and we all...
It was brilliant. It was really exciting. It was so interesting to see how 100 people who've never come across each other before can suddenly, come together and understand everything that's been said to them to produce a musical whole. And it was extremely exciting and stimulating to be involved in it. It was really great. It was like the whole orchestra became one.
I think he's really wise. I think he really knows a lot about the piece, and you could tell he's just studied it so much, and he just knows. He has so much to say about just little subtle things in the music that we would never think of on our own, and we need somebody like him to tell us, I think.
It just put new meaning into music that I never knew was there, and it's a great orchestral experience. It's changed my whole outlook on orchestral work.
You don't call that playing together. That doesn't sound like an orchestra. Sounds like an old-fashioned Italian military band from Mussolini's time. Right. why am I having so much trouble pulling you along? All the back people are behind us front people, timpani and trumpets. Come on, get with it. One more time. And. Yes. That's not piano anymore. That's not piano anymore. No, it must be forte. La bira. Now, that's not as bad as some I've heard. All these eighth notes. And if you can think of impulses, also, it will help you. Go to that note with the accent on it. Think of going there, without rushing, of course. Instead of labba dabba dabba dibba dibba dibba, you go crazy. Play that part. Re, sol, do. All right, let's start together. Re, sol, do. Si, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, di, do, re, di, do, 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 do. Go to that top note accent. One, and. That's better. All right, seconds. And. Good. Well, you're better than the first. Sorry. Don't need to insult me. But that was really wonderful. Now, everybody at that point. And think impulses. It's music. It's not just da 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 da. Ah, re, sol, do. Isn't that a number? P. That's it. yes. Long bing bong bing bong. Bing bong. Use the whole bowl, not the ball. La do me. Ya re. 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 Okay. I love two things, music and people. I don't know which I like better, but I make music because I love people and I love to work with them and I love to play for them and communicate with them on this deepest level, which is the musical level. And I can't imagine life without people. I don't do things alone usually. I don't have dinner alone even. I don't go to a movie alone. People are essential in my life, just as music is essential. And so they're the same thing, really. It's one thing. And it all has to do with love, with loving people and loving music. It's the same. That's perfect. Now, good. Now singing wins. Too soon. Grazioso. Nice. These two upbeats take hours. Excuse me, an hour apiece anyway. So we finish. Fa, mi, re, do, right? Then. Do, si, ra, da, da, di, da, da. The two upbeats to A. That's the beginning of a new thing, those two upbeats. So we have to finish on the fourth beat and then start new. That was perfectly lovely. Oh, there were some beautiful things in that. And some things I didn't have to explain at all, that you just did. You just did. That's the beginning of an orchestra. So two before A. all the way to forte. Tick-a-dum, tick-a-dum, tick-a-dum. Schumann was mad. You won't believe me. He died in a madhouse. Last 2 years of his life he spent in a madhouse. And when he means piano to forte, he means piano to forte. You'll see when we come to the Allegro now. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You think like any other normal symphony, but it's not normal because Schumann was not normal. He was the top romantic of his period. Schumann, Chopin, and changed music. We have to play it very differently from the way we'd play Beethoven or something that would seem the same. Dum, da-dee, ba-dum, ba-dee. And you will find all the way through this Allegro, you will find sforzati, always in a different place. There's hardly any bar that is like the bar after it, or the bar before it. You'll find a sforzato somewhere else. 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. 1, I was coming from different parts of the orchestra. It's, I shouldn't use this word mad, it's neurotic. And you have to play it neurotic. I remember, you know, hearing the symphony. In the olden days, it wasn't very often played because it's very hard, and people just didn't know what to do with it. The big conductors like Stokowski and very rarely played this piece. And they said, oh, the finale is weak, and we can't, the finale is fantastic. Wait till you see, if you begin to observe what Schumann wrote. But I heard it first in my life from a real neurotic, crazy Schumann type called Dimitri Mitropoulos. I don't know how many people even remember his name now, Mitropoulos. Mitropoulos was a great Greek conductor, perhaps the greatest musical brain of our century, I think, who has unfortunately recorded so little that nobody knows how he played anymore. Many of his Sunday afternoon broadcasts with the New York Philharmonic were recorded on the radio and will be issued, I hope to God. I mean, whole performances of Elektra and Salome and Wozzeck. He was just incredible. He would do these in concert form. And his meat was to get hold of something like Wozzeck or Salome, something really neurotic. And this is the beginning of the whole thing. So, now, I went ahead of myself, because those sforzati, when we get into the Allegro, are going to be really rough. But these must not yet be rough, right? We're still in the introduction. 7 before the Allegro. Ram, ram, down. Ba-bam. Wait for it. All right, we didn't quite make it, the Accelerando, but we will this time. The bar with the Luftpause, 5 before the Allegro. It's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's really wonderful. Now, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to do it very differently, and I'm not going to tell you why. You see, you just follow. I'm going to do it two different ways. Sound. All right, not quite, not quite. We haven't reached that stage yet of being an orchestra. We could be completely free. Try that once more. See, I don't know myself what I'm going to do. So let me improvise. Let me play it, make it up on the piano as I go along, all right? Now. That's one way. Now we're going to do another way. That, of course, was quite crazy. I will never do that, I hope. I'm just testing you, right? And we also got to a tempo that's impossible to play so fast. Beautiful. Go to two. Very fine, very fine. Two things. One is you're still, some of you, downbeat ridden. I mean, you're tied to the downbeat. Dun, da, and you keep going. Dum, da, 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 da. The downbeat is up all the time. We go to two. And the other thing is, I believe it's piano crescendo, right from the beginning. So that the second bar should be already considerably louder than the first. You see? And you have a long way to go. I think I've put in some milestones, like mezzo forte here and forte, so you know where to be. What am I going to do for a voice? Right on the allegro, please. 1, 2, 3. Keep going. Keep going. All right, now we get into neurotic land. You see that crescendo has to be maximum. As much as you can to get to B flat. So it's 1, 3. You have an accent of 3. And immediately you have off the beat. Just as strong as what they did. Madness, madness. Can you feel Schumann's heart when he was writing that? Can you imagine what he was feeling? God. What is the number where it's A minor? What do I mean? I've completely forgotten why I stopped. That is the problem of getting old. I mean, 5 years ago, I would know exactly what I meant. Right? It's old fucking age. I hate it. I hate it. All right. All right, let's start at B. This is the end of the long crescendo, and let's say it was good, okay? Not enough. And on two. Yeah. More. No, don't wait. Don't wait, just make short. Body. Not a real Luftpause. Very good. The main thing is that if you play the sforzati this big, which you have to, and winds, by the way, it's not enough. When you have the sforzati. But especially strings, because this is a murder piece for string. You know, by the time you finish the first movement, your arm is falling off, and then you have to play the scherzo. So it's murderous. It's very cruel. But in order to save something between these sforzati, you mustn't play so loud. Just don't give so much between the accents. And that will, in the first place, save you a lot of energy. In the second place, it will make the accents stick out even more, the sforzati, right? It's very hard, very high. Let's do, what is that, 5? Yes. 5. And make this downbeat very short. No downbeats. 1. Go. Keep coming, sempre crescendo. Not enough. And yes. Right. Right. Okay, great. Let's take a break. It's going to be wonderful. Really. Lisa. I love New Zealand. I have such a fantastic memory of
You gonna come back and visit?
Christchurch.
Yeah, I grew up there.
Really?
Yeah.
And I remember going skiing there with my son, and then we skied down to the Pacific and changed to water skis. And went on. It's crazy. What's the world you could do? It's all photography. I'll be around a while, I hope. Que furia! Do I look like that?
¿Por qué? Porque les estaba mentando la madre, como no sé cuánto, les estaba mentando.
Hey, that's fabulous. You did this.
Yeah.
Great.
Lucky. It's beautiful. What are you going to do with that? You got it?
It's for you.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic. It's a wonderful present. Look. Tell you what, let's play the Adagio. Let's skip the scherzo. Scherzo is the hardest, but I think you worked so hard already on the first movement doing this that it may be time for a little very personal, intimate music making. Get your Schumannist read on. Make sure your entrance is inaudible. You just sneak in until it's burning, this piano. And always the pulse. Bam, ba, 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 ba. The same panting, but very slowly. Now, this is the ultimate test in left hand forte and right hand piano. This is also true of the bass line. It's a wonderful bass line. Do, mi, la, sol. Bam, ba, ba. It's in 4, dear. Bam, ba, bam. That's 1 bar. No, that should sing out. La, si, si. Violins, it's beautiful. You're doing a really splendid job at some other piece you're playing by Mahler or... First place, it's not piano. You're playing forte. You're giving your all. I know you are. But you're playing forte. And when you have the sforzati, you know, these accents have to come from inside you. In the great Viennese tradition, you know, where Brahms learned all this at the feet of Schumann. You know, Not rough, not Z, that was the bow like that. So mi si do. See, that's a phrase. It's not di da, and then another thing da da. Play it. Just you. That's almost it. That's almost it. We have some out of tune playing here. Beautiful. Same piano. Now from inside, here's this big one. Yes. Arredo. Watch where these lines are going. La si si do. More diminuendo even. Fa sol mi re. Fa. You go away, and that's where the oboe sneaks in. Now this fortepiano from the heart. Great. That was good. It was from the heart. But it wasn't fortepiano. It was forte diminuendo. That's not the same thing. Boom. That's what he means. Boom. C flat. Not dom and somewhere in the middle of the bar get softer. No. The same with the bassoon. A bassoon, when your entrance after his should be like a gentleman escorting his beautiful diva. It's all very operatic. This, as you'll see, the four winds are like the quartet from Rigoletto or something. She comes in, excuse me. He comes in, and you enter very gallant, like an escort. And you sometimes imitate what he does in your way. And you have the also heartbreaking C flat. You know what I mean. All right. Let's do the seventh bar. Seventh bar. So, fa, do, is that it? No. So, this is going to be the most beautiful adagio you ever heard. It's going to be. It isn't yet. It's going to be. Bravo. Really beautiful. That's a good rehearsal. A lot of work. Good work. Sorry it's so hard, but that's life. If you're going to be a musician, you better want to be a musician, because it's hard. This is only the beginning. It's very hard to do, and very easy to be a mediocre musician. It's so easy just to do gigs and play music. It's all the difference between day and night, between doing that and doing what we just did in these last 5 minutes. It takes a dedication and a commitment. There's no words for it. So God bless you. You're really a fine orchestra. We're going to have a great orchestra before you know it. Thanks. Yes. There are so many pianists and violinists and soloists and orchestra people and singers and conductors that it is a profession that you should follow only if you are driven to do it. If you even have to ask the question, should I be a musician, then the answer has to be no, because you asked the question. It's almost like a Zen rule of philosophy. If you ask the question, the answer is no. If you want to be a musician, you will be a musician. A tempo. Beautiful. Follow him. Yes. That's it. Go. Perfect. That's it. Rest, rest. Watch it. Follow us. And to the bar.